Hello everybody. Alright, it's really cold here in Tokyo today. These days, in fact. Anyway, so today I want to talk about a video that I made previously, and I've decided that I was wrong in that video, and I want to make an update. My God, it's hard to speak. I don't know, something happens when it's really cold and your face just starts to, I don't know, like cramp up or something. I don't know. Some muscles here get cold and weird. For me at least, And so the video that I made was about the lessons I learned from my first business failure, And I usually consider it a failure not because I lost anything. I mean, the only thing I lost was time, because I didn't lose any money on the business, I didn't lose any money, but I lost time with that business. Like, it didn't take off the way I thought it should be. And my analysis of that business failure was mainly things that now, looking back, kind of feel like either being too hard on myself or they feel like excuses, like it's kind of a spectrum of both. So for example, the employees thing, one of the reasons I mentioned in that video was that, I didn't hire the right kind of people, or I didn't manage them properly, and that now feels like an excuse. The other thing, I don't even remember what I said back in that video. I'll probably go and check it out again, but it doesn't matter. I have a new perspective on this. The real reason that, at least as of 2020, winter 2024, the real reason I believe that my business failed and is due to a lack of vision. And if you haven't been an entrepreneur, it might come as a surprise to you, right? Or if you've never worked at a small startup, this might come as a surprise to you. Like, what do you mean vision? Like, that's not a reason for a company's failure. That sounds like an excuse, whatever. But let me tell you, when you don't have a vision, you basically don't have any way of getting there. Like, you're shooting in the dark. There's a saying that if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there, right? And you could also say that if you don't know where you're going, then no road will take you there. You could say both. Yeah, I'm crossing the road, having a camera in my hands. Well, yeah, I could do, and the taxi driver was kind of like staring at me like, who's this weird dude at night, foreigner, walking around, filming himself. Yeah, I'm that guy. So, but yeah, basically, when you don't have a vision, like this is what I want to accomplish. This is what the company is going to be. This is what the business is going to become someday, you know. If you set random ass goals like, oh, we want to hit X dollars, you know, by X time, these smart goals are actually meaningless. You know, these goals have no emotion behind them. These goals have no reasoning as such behind them, or they're too logical. Wow, look at that. It's all, I don't know if you can see this, but it's all like leaves all over, you know, that have shed from these trees. You know, nighttime lights are beautiful, right? Anyway, back to the video. The first company was an education company, a technical education company. I started that company because I got, I don't like to use the word lucky, but I did get some initial success quickly, and I was like, okay, I'm in business, you know. I got some clients who have paid me the money up front, and I just have to deliver, and I have something on my hands. You know, this is great. I'm in business, you know. I'm making money and selling something that I have an expertise in. So let's figure out the rest later, you know. And it was always my plan to bootstrap that education business until it was making enough money that I could spend that money on other new projects, you know, technology projects or whatever. But I'd never really had a true vision for the company. It was all just like, hey, yeah, let's make, you know, I don't know, like I remember having, it's kind of embarrassing to say that today, and it might seem small for a lot of people, but back then I had this goal like, oh, one day we'll be making, maybe we could make $5 million a year, you know. And that seemed like that was the extent of my vision, you know. And it was a very shallow, a very hollow goal that I just set based on what was possible. Like, yeah, of course, you know, why not? That would be amazing. But really, I was just in it to make money. You know, I was like, hey, we just want to make money. I just want more revenue. That's the vision, that's the goal, that's everything. Like, just make more money, make more revenue. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs say that same thing, you know, about their 5-year goals or 5-year vision or whatever. I ask this question, like sometimes when I have an entrepreneur meetup, for example, I will pose this question: what could be your vision in 5 years, right? And usually they're stumped, you know, especially like people who have more like a small business than a real venture, you know. A small business owner will usually just say, oh, I might add 1 more shop or 2 more shops, or I just want a little more money, you know, or something like that. And that's why they stay on a plateau usually for years, and they're comfortable, you know. They get to a level of comfort and then they coast because they've already achieved whatever they want to achieve, you know. There's no more pain. And I was reading this book today, you know, very famous book called High Output Management by the former CEO of Intel, right? Andy Grove. And he said, you know, in order to stay motivated, people have to have certain unmet needs. You know, most of your needs have to be met to work in a company, but you also need to have certain unmet needs in order to be motivated, right? And I think that having a really bright, really amazing vision for the future, something that's so big that you just, it touches you emotionally. Without a vision like that, it's really hard to rally yourself up and get back to work every day and have a strategy. The interesting thing is that when you have a vision, the strategy is easy after that. When you have a vision, the vision is the strategy for, like, if is 50% of the strategy. The rest is just like a little maneuvering and tactics about how to get there, right? Like, you're going north or southwest or whatever, and even if you have to take detours, you'll find your way to the southwest eventually. You can't go too far off without noticing that you're not going southwest, right? So that's a vision is like a compass. It is the ultimate compass, because if you're going east, well, you might wander for a couple of days, but then that's where the sun goes up from. You'll see the sun coming and you'll go straight towards the sun eventually, right? And that is what was really missing for my company, for my business. I wouldn't even call it it was a company, but whatever. And I think the key thing that pushes me today, now, finally, it also took me, I made the same mistake. I'm going to be honest. I made kind of the same mistake with my current company, where I had a semblance of a vision in the beginning, but it was very vague. It was very woo-woo, not woo-woo, but just very uncertain about, what would happen. It was more like, what are the possibilities, And here's the thing, when you're thinking in terms of possibilities, when your vision is all about, what's possible, a lot of stuff is possible, you're not gonna motivate yourself based on possibilities, right? There has to be something concrete to attract you, right? You can't go chasing a mystery forever, right? There's no thrill in just seeking mystery, right? Eventually you'll give up, especially a lot of creative entrepreneurial types like me. If you're looking for a lost city of gold, even if it's mythical, at least you know what you're looking for, and you know what you're not looking for, right? So having a vision is a focusing force. It focuses you very strongly on what's essential, and it instantly diverts you away from what's inessential in your company, in your, it just gives you a roadmap simply by crafting a vision of the future that you want for your company, right? What kind of company will it be in the future? Do you want it to be in the future? What kind of people what would the environment look like? What kind of people would be there? What kind of culture would you have, right? If you have a vivid vision, this isn't some woo-woo shit about it might be, but even if you take out the woo-woo shit about law of attraction or all that stuff, right? Even if just I think of it as a very practical, tactical tool. Anyway, I've talked about this enough. Now, another benefit of a vision is that it helps you. It takes care of 50% of the managing employees part really easily, because as a leader, as a manager, if you don't have a vision for people to look forward to, a vision where they can see themselves achieving all of their dreams within your dream, then again you are basically just dealing with mercenaries at that point, right? No, a missionary type person, a missionary type hard worker will never work for somebody with no vision. If they do, they won't have any loyalty, because they would leave you any second for another person who gives more money. Because without a vision, every job is the same, pretty much, right? And also having a vision is also a culture building tool, because then people know, well, that's the kind of company we need to act like. That's the kind of company we're trying to become. So we can't be acting like this or that. We have to act like that to achieve that, to be that kind of company in the future, to be that kind of team, that kind of people, right? I wish that if I could go back in time, right? Which, of course, unfortunately or fortunately, we cannot. If I could go back in time, the only real thing that I would change at this point would be I would set myself a big, powerful, emotionally resonant vision that would take me years to achieve, and I would simply trust and focus on that vision. So anyway, that's the root cause of why I feel like that other video I made about my analysis of my business failure is outdated, and my new perspective on that topic. And I hope this was valuable to somebody there watching, maybe a fellow budding entrepreneur. Again, you might, these things are easy to shake off as like, oh, it's something, whatever, like he's trying to be a thought leader. I hate those fuckers. I hate those thought leader, consultant type fuckers, right? But this, I'm a very practical person. I'm an engineer. And this is one of the most practical, lessons that I've ever learned in my life about business, right? Having a vision makes things so much easier on a practical day-to-day level that I cannot even describe. Really, it makes life much more straightforward, and it makes decisions much more simple. A lot of decisions, the big decisions, yeah, that's the video.